Wan Su comes from a poor family, but made it big in golf, becoming an international superstar worth millions. After retiring, she throws herself into charity work, bringing hope to countless families in need. Today, she attends an event at the UNICEF headquarters as a special guest speaker. Wan Su shares the story of a young girl who was kidnapped by terrorists, but fortunately survived. To seek justice for the girl, Wan Su hires lawyers and brings the terrorists to the international court. The news quickly reaches the terrorists, and Wan Su soon receives threatening emails. Her secretary urges her to cancel the upcoming trip, but Wan Su refuses. She insists on going to Manila as planned to personally thank the prince for his generous donation. After their meeting, she visits a shopping district to prepare for a fundraising event. As she steps out of a jewelry store, a young woman walking with her is shot dead by a sniper. It's clear the real target is Wan Su. Her bodyguard tries to escort her to safety, but tragically loses his life. Amid the chaos, a man named Dune suddenly steps in, trying to fight off the sniper. Suddenly, the attacker's fire intensifies. Under the man's cover, Wan Su manages to get into the car and escape. Unfortunately, the engine breaks down halfway, forcing the car to stop. At this moment, Wan Su slowly regains her composure and demands to know who the man really is. In truth, Dune is a former Korean cop who came to Manila 3 months ago on vacation with a friend. Tragically, his friend was hunted down by a masked assassin. Dune tried to subdue the assassin but failed. Only hearing him said, "The flower shop delivery is complete," and his friend, in his final moments, desperately mentioned a photo. To uncover the truth, Dune decided to stay in this city. One day, at a casino, he learned by chance that the assassin's codename was L, and that his next hit would take place in a shopping district. To dig deeper, Dune disguised himself as a janitor and sneaked into the casino boss's office, where he unexpectedly ran into his senior. Shockingly, the senior also mentioned the flower shop. Right after that, Dune rushed to the shopping district, trying to find the assassin, but instead he happened to save Wan Su from danger. Back in the present, Dune explains that he is just a passerby, not a bad guy. Then he tries to fix the engine, only to realize the car is rigged with a GPS tracker. He tells Wan Su that they can't go back into the town because the assassins have likely already tracked them. Wan Su suggests calling the police, but Dune thinks it's a bad idea. He fears there are moles within the local force. So, the two decide to head to Dune's place. He plans to take Wan Su to the embassy and tells her to call someone she trusts to pick her up. Just in case, he reminds her not to reveal their exact location. However, after Dune finishes treating his wound, he realizes Wan Su hasn't called anyone. She explains that she doesn't remember any numbers. Still, that doesn't change their plan. Before they leave, Dune carefully wipes the blood from her face. The atmosphere suddenly turns intimate, and Wan Su's heart races uncontrollably. Soon, Wan Su reunites with her husband, but he scolds her for being stubborn and causing so much trouble. Exhausted, Wan Su has no energy left to argue. Later that day, she recalls everything that happened and feels a warmth she hasn't felt in a long time. Then she meets with her mother-in-law, Ms. Park, and the two get into a heated argument. The old lady orders Wan Su to deliver bribe money to the Chinese ambassador, but Wan Su refuses to take part in such dirty business. Meanwhile, Dune touches the scar on his abdomen, remembering the moment, years ago, when his friend donated a kidney to him. From that day on, he vowed to protect this precious friend, even at the cost of his life. By coincidence, his senior is now the captain of Wan Su's security team. After learning the whole story, the senior invites Dune to join his team, working for the flower shop. He then explains that the flower shop is what they call Huane Group for confidentiality reasons. Dune suspects the assassin might be connected to this group, so he accepts the offer. The next day, Wan Su insists on holding a press conference, ignoring her husband's objections and her own safety. She publicly admits she was attacked by terrorists and vows that even if her life is at risk, she will fight evil forces to the end. After the conference, Wan Su and her husband attend a company party. Just as they step out of the elevator, the security captain blocks Vice President Kim and introduces the new member, Do-yoon. Wan Su immediately recognizes her savior and feels both shocked and quietly happy. Kim thanks Do-yoon for protecting his wife yesterday and orders the captain to reward this new bodyguard. Moments later, the loving couple walk into the banquet hall, surrounded by applause. Wan Su can't help but look back on how she ended up where she is today. When she was a child, her mother worked as a caddy at a golf course and served Ms. Park. As the only daughter of Korea's richest man, Ms. Park was spoiled and arrogant, often beating her mother. Out of spite, her mother steals Ms. Park's golf clubs and begins teaching Wan Su how to play. Wan Su not only showed great talent, but also developed a strong interest in the sport. So her mother encouraged her to go professional and sent her to the US to compete in tournaments. Wan Su lived up to her mother's expectations, winning 20 championships over 10 years and even becoming a Hall of Famer. With her career success, she collected more than 10 billion won in prize money, but all of it was squandered by her gambling-addicted mother, who even fell into heavy debt. Helpless, Wan Su cut ties with her and donated all of the money she earned thereafter, earning the title the Angel of Charity. Back in the present, Wan Su is busy socializing with guests while her husband exchanges a glance with one of their friends and slips out of the party with her. But the woman seems to forget she is attending with her son. Soon, the boy grows sleepy and anxiously looks for his mother. As Wan Su searches around the hotel, she accidentally witnesses her husband having an affair with that woman. Instead of shock, she explodes in anger, saying, "You shouldn't have been caught." Clearly, she had already known about their inappropriate relationship. She warns them not to be discovered by reporters, or Hwayne Group will be ruined. After leaving the room, Wan Su acts as if nothing happened and continues dancing the waltz with her husband at the party. Still, Do-yoon senses something is off. After the party, Wan Su goes to her mother-in-law's room, only to find the mistress there as well. Clearly, Ms. Park already knows about her son's affair and fears Wan Su might file for divorce. Wan Su calmly sweeps glasses off the table and demands to know why the old lady always tortures others just to make herself feel better. She declares she will never divorce, but will instead focus on developing Hwayne Group's charity foundation. The late chairman had entrusted her with protecting Hwayne Group. She then warns Ms. Park not to provoke her again, or she won't live in peace for the rest of her life. Furious, Ms. Park clenches her teeth and swears she will kill Wan Su one day. Later that evening, Wan Su drinks alone at a bar, reminiscing about the first time she met her husband. Back then, they were both volunteering in Africa and gradually developed feelings for each other. Before returning to Korea, Kim directly proposed to Wan Su, asking her to be his wife. However, Ms. Park believes Wan Su was not good enough for her son, as she came from a poor family and her mother was a gambling addict. Considering her son's deep love for Wan Su, Ms. Park finally agreed to their marriage. She even entrusted Wan Su with managing the family charity foundation. Privately, Ms. Park demanded her brother sign a prenuptial and confidentiality agreement, offering him a job in return. And so, Wan Su and her husband remained married for 12 years. Until their only child tragically passed away in an accident, their relationship came to an end. Back to the present, Wan Su is drunk and tries to walk back to the hotel alone. To ensure her safety, Do-yoon silently follows her and escorts her to the elevator. Unexpectedly, Wan Su gestures for him to come up with her. She stumbles to the room door and hurriedly empties her purse to find the room key. Seeing this, Do-yoon quietly tidies up the mess and opens the door for her. Wan Su suddenly murmurs, "Maybe I should just sleep with you tonight." Do-yoon doesn't answer but helps her into the room. He softly asks if she feels unlucky or lonely, but Wan Su denies both. Just as Do-yoon is about to leave, there's a knock on the door. It's Kim, who is upset by his wife's indifference towards him and comes to confront her. Do-yoon tries to open the door, but Wan Su stops him. She doesn't want to see her unfaithful husband. Fortunately, the security captain appears just in time, lying that the lady is drunk at the bar and persuades Kim to leave. He then secretly slips the room key under the door. After the crisis is averted, Do-yoon leaves with complicated feelings, while Wan Su also feels conflicted inside. From that moment on, she can't help but pay more attention to Do-yoon. After returning to Korea, the captain explains the layout of the mansion to Do-yoon and arranges a room for him. While unpacking, he accidentally knocks over a photo of himself and his friend. Suddenly, he remembers his friend mentioning a photo before dying, and sure enough, there is a memory card hidden inside the frame. He inserts the card into his iPad and sees video clips related to the body of the former chairman of Hwayne Group. Do-yoon immediately realizes that the old chairman may have been murdered, which is why his friend left the video as evidence. Just then, Wan Su calls Do-yoon over, saying she's not comfortable with him here. Do-yoon doesn't respond to her emotional needs, but instead informs her that those who tried to kill her are professional assassins and will likely strike again. Seeing that she doesn't understand the severity of the situation, he reveals that the person who killed his friend is the same terrorist who attacked her. He suspects that there is a huge conspiracy within the company and firmly states that he will protect her at any cost. Wan Su is filled with confusion, unsure whether to trust his words. Shortly after, Wan Su suggests to her brother that they change the accounting firms. She plans to elevate the charity foundation to an international organization and make its finances transparent. Her brother strongly opposes this, as the foundation was set up to launder money for Hwayne Group from the start. Wan Su is well aware of this, but she no longer wants to tolerate these illegal dealings. Her brother presses her, asking if her mother-in-law knows. He's worried that the terrorist attack might have been orchestrated by Ms. Park. Wan Su has no clues either, but she insists that nothing will change her plans. After work, Wan Su makes time to meet with her husband's lover. Tara is curious about when she discovered the truth. Wan Su admits that from the moment she met Tara's son, she could tell that the boy was Kim's illegitimate child. She orders Tara to take her son to Switzerland and live out the rest of their lives quietly. However, Tara refuses to leave and even reveals a secret. 12 years ago, Kim dated a celebrity, and they used drugs in a hotel. Unexpectedly, the woman died of an overdose. To cover up the scandal, Ms. Park targeted Wan Su, who was highly respected by the public. She ordered her son to bring donations to Africa, slowly get close to Wan Su, and eventually marry her. Despite knowing she's being used, Wan Su still refuses to divorce her husband. She coldly tells Tara, "You can live as a concubine for the rest of your life." However, just as one problem settles, another arises. Ms. Park deliberately provokes Wan Su, threatening to bring her son's illegitimate child into their home. Wan Su firmly disagrees and warns the old lady not to interfere with her family matters. Later that day, Kim confronts his wife, asking, "Am I nothing to you?" Wan Su finds him hypocritical and wants to know why he married her. Kim admits that he fell in love with her at first sight and hoped she would be his wife. He adds that no matter what happens, he will never divorce her. Wan Su sighs and then demands that he send his lover and their illegitimate child to Switzerland. However, Kim says he must first get his mother's approval, as he cannot make such a major decision alone. This deeply disappoints Wan Su. The next day, to get back at Wan Su, Ms. Park arranges a family photo shoot and includes Kim's illegitimate child. Wan Su is furious because she has never made her son's death public. If this family photo is released, people will surely believe the illegitimate child is her biological son. But Ms. Park doesn't care. All she needs is a grandson to inherit the family business. The timid Kim is too afraid to defy his mother, even unable to look his wife in the eye. At the photo shoot, Ms. Park's smug smile sharply contrasts with Wan Su's face, full of anger. Even worse, without Wan Su's consent, her son's room cleared out, and the illegitimate child moved in. Wan Su angrily leaves the house and drives off alone, nearly causing an accident. Out of concern, Do-yoon, without permission, sits in the passenger seat. Wan Su continues driving until they reach the beach. She walks barefoot along the sand, filled with sorrow. Do-yoon quietly follows, keeping a close eye on her every move. After a long while, Wan Su's feet are covered in sand. Seeing this, Do-yoon kneels and gently brushes the sand off, then puts shoes on her. Wan Su knows she shouldn't get too close to him, so she orders him to just keep to her duties as her bodyguard. She adds that she doesn't believe what he said that day, unless he can provide solid proof. Later that day, Wan Su returns to the seaside villa. Kim has been waiting for her, sensing that she would come here to relax. Thinking about everything that happened today, he suddenly suggests they have another child. Wan Su finds this absurd and scolds him, accusing him of rushing to marry her just to cover up his dirty scandal. Kim argues that it's what his mother thinks, and that he married her because he truly loves her. With that, he tries to force a kiss on her, but Wan Su struggles fiercely. Outside, Do-yoon sees this and rushes into the mansion. He restrains Kim from behind until he completely calms down. Then Do-yoon releases him and calmly reminds Kim that if the lady gets hurt, it could end up putting everyone in a difficult place. With Do-yoon's escort, Wan Su safely leaves the villa. The next day, Do-yoon heads to Hwayne Group, attempting to uncover more details about the old chairman's death. According to the security captain, the old chairman died at home from heart paralysis. However, newly obtained CCTV footage shows that the ambulance actually picked up the chairman from a different location, not the hotel. It's clear that this was a well-planned murder, and the killers are connected to Hwayne Group. They killed Do-yoon's friend just to cover up the truth. After confirming the direction of the investigation, Do-yoon begins searching for clues in the mansion. While the surveillance room is empty, he quickly copies videos. One clip shows a large sum of cash on Kim's desk, amounting to about 1 billion won. Do-yoon wonders what the money was for. After all, hiring assassins doesn't require this much. Meanwhile, to fight against her mother-in-law, Wan Su orders the housekeeper to lock her son's room and prevent anyone from entering. Ms. Park, upon hearing this, doesn't argue with Wan Su, since there are plenty of empty rooms in the mansion. Instead, she calls in lawyer Han, who handles Hwayne Group's affairs, and decides to hand over the charity foundation to her youngest son, Min. After receiving the resignation speech, Wan Su decides she will no longer tolerate it. She asks her brother to spread rumors exposing her husband not only has a mistress, but also an illegitimate child. For a moment, Kim is caught in a media storm. Facing reporters' questions, Wan Su refuses to answer any. Upon seeing the news, Ms. Park immediately calls an emergency meeting. Lawyer Han tells her it is difficult to trace who leaked the information to the media. Worse still, Hwayne Group's stock prices begin to plummet. Ms. Park believes the public is worried that the well-regarded Wan Su might end up divorcing her husband. Seizing the opportunity, Wan Su proposes that she wants to continue serving as the director of the foundation, which is strongly opposed by the old lady. Ms. Park orders her to keep her hands off the foundation and stay home until things quiet down. On the surface, Wan Su agrees, but she is secretly preparing to hold a press conference. The next day, Wan Su attends a social event with her mother-in-law. Midway through, she deliberately sends the old lady's bodyguard away and, accompanied by Do-yoon, heads to the press conference. In front of the reporters, Wan Su denies the rumors of her husband's affair, causing an uproar. She then confesses that the alleged illegitimate child is actually the son of her late father-in-law, shocking everyone once again. Ms. Park nearly goes crazy with anger, while her two sons can't help but burst into laughter, praising Wan Su for her bravery. Upon returning home, Ms. Park angrily accuses Wan Su of using underhanded tricks. Wan Su calmly responds that that was the best option she had. She emphasizes that her contributions to the company even surpass her husband's, so she should not be treated so harshly. Even so, Ms. Park orders Wan Su to resign from the position of the foundation's director and never take any part in any of Group's business. Wan Su refuses, threatening that if Ms. Park continues to attack her, she will take extreme measures and expose the company's money laundering secrets. Ms. Park furies, threatening to make her pay the price. Wan Su replies calmly, saying that as long as she can protect the foundation, she's willing to risk that. A few days later, Ms. Park invites Tara and her son to the mansion. She explains that since Tara was her late husband's lover, she has the right to live there. She also reminds Wan Su to be respectful to her other mother-in-law. Later, Wan Su takes Tara to her private room and warns her to stay out of her sight and live quietly. That evening, Wan Su plans to go for a run and invites Do-yoon to join her. He can't help but ask her why she still wants to protect this broken marriage. Wan Su confesses that she promised her late father-in-law to protect the foundation. It turns out that the old chairman trusted Wan Su deeply and felt guilty for his son's mistakes. Still, he hoped she would stay in the family until the right time to leave. To honor the old chairman's trust, Wan Su is willing to pay any price. Do-yoon feels sorry for her situation and fears that one day she might meet the same tragic fate as the old chairman. Seeing that Wan Su remains doubtful, he decides to reveal everything he knows. It's only then that Wan Su believes the person who killed Do-yoon's friend is the same terrorist who attacked her, and the mastermind behind it is likely someone close to her. Even in danger, Wan Su remains fully dedicated to charity and establishes a welfare center through the foundation. At the opening ceremony, she and her mother-in-law unexpectedly wear similar dresses. At the request of the reporters, the two are forced to stand together and take an intimate photo. Later, Ms. Park vents her anger on the bodyguards, knocking them down one by one. However, Do-yoon, unlike the others, mercilessly defeats her. Surprisingly, Ms. Park is not angry, but instead drawn to his unique scent. Back at home, Ms. Park asks Wan Su if she hasn't seen her mother in a long time. She reveals that Wan Su's mother is locked in a mental hospital and in very poor health. Wan Su is shocked and demands to know if the old lady is involved in this. Ms. Park denies it immediately. She takes out a few photos and tells Wan Su that her mother could die at any time. Upon hearing this, Wan Su rushes to the mental hospital, only to find that it's like a prison. Her brother explains that it was all arranged by her mother-in-law. With a heavy heart, she opens the door, only to find her mother looking so frail and aged. Just then, the woman wakes up, but she seems delirious and doesn't even recognize her own daughter. She only remembers that her daughter is still in the U.S. and feels deep regret for her addiction to gambling. Wan Su suddenly remembers that her mother once went into great debt just to buy her a plane ticket to the U.S. In that moment, she forgives her mother, but it's too late. After saying, "I'm sorry," the woman closes her eyes forever. Wan Su breaks down in uncontrollable tears, and Do-yoon immediately rushes to her side, holding her tightly. It takes a long time for Wan Su to calm down. Her brother tells her that they can only hold a simple farewell ceremony for their mother because Ms. Park had ordered that they shouldn't let anyone know. Wan Su returns home in sorrow. Unexpectedly, Ms. Park orders her to attend a meeting with the Chinese ambassador the next day. Wan Su refuses as she needs to say goodbye to her mother. Ms. Park threatens her, saying that if the deal falls through, she could have her locked up without anyone knowing. Left with no choice, Wan Su complies with the old lady's arrangements. The next day at the party, everyone delighted about the collaboration, except for Wan Su, who is absent-minded, drinking alone. Meanwhile, her brother takes care of their mother's funeral alone and hands the urn to Wan Su. After careful thought, Wan Su takes the urn and goes to her bodyguard, planning to go somewhere no one can find them. Do-yoon immediately understands her intentions and turns off both of their phones and the car's GPS tracker. Unexpectedly, a man in black is following them. Following Wan Su's instructions, Do-yoon drives her to the place where she and her mother once lived. This is the only way Wan Su can say her final goodbye to her mother. In front of the man she trusts, Wan Su no longer hides her vulnerability and reveals that her son has long been gone. Do-yoon doesn't know how to comfort her, but can only hold her tightly, letting her release all her sorrow. Not far away, the man in black captures this moment with a camera. After calming down, Wan Su takes a boat to the sea and scatters her mother's ashes. She hopes her mother will be free to go wherever she desires. She also vows to make the person who imprisoned her mother pay the price. Meanwhile, Ms. Park receives intimate photos of Wan Su and her bodyguard. Clearly, she instructed the man in black to do this. Soon after, Wan Su and her bodyguard return to the mansion, where her husband and mother-in-law are waiting with serious expressions. Without a word, Kim punches Do-yoon and scolds him for failing in his duties as a bodyguard, and immediately fires him on the spot. Once everyone's emotions settle, Ms. Park calls her son to the study and scolds him for his reckless behavior earlier. She emphasizes that his wife only took her deceased mother for cremation and did nothing inappropriate with the bodyguard. Then she orders the security captain to apologize to Do-yoon and pay for his medical bills. In reality, Ms. Park does this to prevent Wan Su from exposing all the dirty dealings within the foundation. She tells her son that the only way Wan Su can leave the house is through death. Later that night, Wan Su secretly visits Do-yoon and asks if he is okay. Do-yoon doesn't answer, but instead asks if she would be his woman. He doesn't want her to continue living such a painful life and wants to take her away. However, Wan Su wants Do-yoon to become her most capable ally, to help her uncover the conspiracy behind Hwayne Group. Do-yoon shows her the video left by his friend, revealing that the old chairman was likely murdered. Shocked, Wan Su orders him to continue searching for more useful information. Do-yoon remembers that his friend was investigating an illegal casino before his death, so he goes there to request a meeting with the owner. However, the owner doesn't recognize the person in the CCTV footage and orders the guards to kick him out. He then sends the photo to the security captain and explains what happened. The captain feels uneasy. The next day, he calls Do-yoon into the office to question him about why he was at the casino. In reality, this was a trap set by Do-yoon. He is now even more certain that his senior is connected to the two murders. Under questioning, the senior admits that he only handled money laundering for Kim. He also reveals that the old chairman died during sex at a hotel, and to avoid scandal, the bodyguards secretly brought him back to the mansion. Afterward, the senior warns Do-yoon not to act recklessly again, or he will get into trouble. However, Do-yoon doesn't care. That evening, he tells Wan Su everything he has learned so far. Wan Su advises Do-yoon to investigate lawyer Han as well, since he is in charge of managing Hwayne Group's illegal slush funds. In fact, Han is not just a lawyer, but also Ms. Park's lover. They have maintained an inappropriate relationship for a long time. Late at night, Wan Su lies awake, thinking about her next move. From what she knows, Ms. Park plans to collaborate with her youngest son to secretly launder money through their cosmetics company. To stop this illegal activity, Wan Su deliberately endorses another cosmetics company, stealing a number of clients. This move causes significant controversy. Her family is deeply displeased with her actions and demands an explanation. Wan Su argues that she filmed the ad since she needed money to buy vaccines to send to Africa. After that, she heads to the welfare center to have a meal with the children, spending a wonderful day. However, on her way home, the vehicle carrying Wan Su is suddenly attacked by multiple drones. Do-yoon manages to evade the first wave of attacks, but more drones swarm in, launching devastating strikes that overturn the vehicle. Now, the attacker is revealed to be Lee, one of Ms. Park's personal bodyguards. Lee rides a motorcycle to the scene, confirming that no one survived. However, after she leaves, Do-yoon crawls out of the car and manages to rescue the still-living Wan Su. Suddenly, the car explodes again, and metal debris pierces Do-yoon's back. Before losing consciousness, he protects Wan Su tightly in his arms. Later, after emergency medical treatment, both bodyguards are out of danger and are sent to the hospital room. Lee had planned to continue the assassination, but accidentally spots a nearby security camera. She has no choice but to leave and reports the failure to her superior. Meanwhile, under Do-yoon's protection, Wan Su is miraculously almost unharmed. The first thing she does after waking up is to look for Do-yoon. Kim, with a gloomy expression, casually says that he's still alive. Elsewhere, dozens of reporters gather outside the hospital waiting for a statement, as this attack may have been orchestrated by terrorists again. The next day, Ms. Park pressures the police chief to quickly find the attackers. Her motive is not to seek justice for Wan Su, but to prevent Hwayne Group from suffering financial losses. Every time Wan Su is attacked, their stock prices drop. Inside the hospital, Wan Su eagerly goes to visit Do-yoon, only to find that he is not in his room. Now he is outside the police station and gets the CCTV footage from the crime scene from a former colleague. A few days later, Wan Su has fully recovered. Unexpectedly, Ms. Park orders her personal bodyguard to closely monitor Wan Su's safety starting today. Before being discharged, Wan Su visits Do-yoon again and scolds him for risking his life to save her. Do-yoon replies that his heart told him he had to do it. He then picks up his iPad and shows her the video of the crime scene. However, Wan Su refuses to watch it, as she now fully trusts the man in front of her. Then they share a brief, tender moment together. After leaving the hospital, Wan Su immediately returns to work and demands her brother hand over the Foundation's ledgers. He bluntly tells her that the ledgers he has are the altered tax version, and the original ones are with lawyer Han. He warns Wan Su that he is the executive of Huane Group, and if she does anything foolish, he will take all the blame and become a scapegoat. However, Wan Su insists on seeking revenge against her mother-in-law, but her brother disagrees. He believes that once the company's slush funds are exposed, only the two of them will end up in prison. This is no revenge, he argues. Even so, Wan Su doesn't change her mind. Late at night, she secretly meets with Do-yoon and tells him that the original ledgers are in lawyer Han's study. She insists that she must get them and pleads for his help. Do-yoon worries that she might be in danger because of this and urges her not to do anything. Wan Su refuses to sit idly by. She believes that without leverage, she cannot confront her mother-in-law. Eventually, Do-yoon agrees to follow her plan. The next day, as soon as lawyer Han leaves, Do-yoon sneaks into his residence. Unexpectedly, a Rottweiler suddenly blocks the way. Lee, attracted by the noise, notices Do-yoon sneaking around. Do-yoon is unaware and heads straight for the parking lot. He retrieves a towel used by Han from the trunk and successfully calms the Rottweiler. However, the front door lock requires fingerprint recognition. Do-yoon quietly enters the kitchen, searching for a cup with a lipstick mark, since Han has a habit of wearing lipstick. He then copies the fingerprint from the cup onto a fake finger and successfully opens the door. Inside, Do-yoon searches around and finds a locked safe. To get the password, he installs a miniature camera inside a nearby clock. After finishing this, Do-yoon is about to leave, but accidentally discovers the original ledgers. Meanwhile, the female bodyguard reports everything she saw to Han. He rushes home immediately and breathes a sigh of relief once he confirms the documents involving Huane Group's secrets are still there. But soon, he realizes that the original ledgers of the Foundation are missing. Elsewhere, Do-yoon rushes to the company to find Wan Su. To protect her from being implicated, he offers to keep the ledgers himself. Just then, several prosecutors arrive with a search and seizure warrant for the Foundation. They also present an arrest warrant, accusing Wan Su's brother of embezzling the Foundation's assets. The sudden turn of events causes Wan Su to panic, and Do-yoon gently holds her hand to calm her down. Unexpectedly, Kim happens to witness this scene, staring in surprise at the two. Soon after, Wan Su visits the police station to see her brother, but she notices he is unusually calm. He explains that he will never be a scapegoat because he holds a scandal that could destroy the group. He then questions lawyer Han, asking if this is all Min's doing. It turns out, it is. Not long ago, Ms. Park planned to leave all the family assets to her eldest son. Min is furious upon hearing this news, as he has always been neglected by his parents since childhood. So he deliberately reported the Foundation to the prosecutors, hoping to take everything for himself. Back to the present, Han understands that Wan Su's brother holds many secrets about Huane Group and promises to get him out on bail as soon as possible. He then meets with Min, warning him not to act rashly and assuring him that he will handle the rest. In fact, Han has already come up with a solution. He pins all the blame on Do-yoon, and Ms. Park believes every word. She immediately calls for Wan Su and questions her about her relationship with her bodyguard. Wan Su looks puzzled upon hearing this. Han says that the original ledgers in his study have gone missing, and the witness told him the thief was Do-yoon. He then takes out intimate photos of Wan Su and the bodyguard. Wan Su panics, then admits that it was her who instructed Do-yoon to steal the ledgers. As for the photos, she explains that it was the day of her mother's funeral and she could barely stand up, so Do-yoon was just doing his job as a bodyguard. To prevent things from escalating further, Ms. Park orders Han to take care of the bodyguard. Wan Su disagrees with this approach. She promises to get the ledgers from her bodyguard and return them to the old lady. That night, she meets with Do-yoon and tells him everything that happened today. Do-yoon denies leaking anything to the prosecutors and points out that the contents of the ledger are highly suspicious. On the surface, All the slush funds appear to be flowing into Wan Su and her brother's accounts, making them the hostages. However, in reality, all those funds ultimately flow back to Ms. Park's account. To uncover the truth, he refuses to return the ledger. Wan Su fears this will put him in danger and urges him to stop, but Do-yoon is not afraid of death. All he wants now is to save her from this hell. Deeply moved, Wan Su holds him tightly. As public pressure mounts, Ms. Park worries it may damage the group's reputation. Lawyer Han believes they need news that's big enough to cover up the embezzlement. If Wan Su is exposed to the world for having an affair with her bodyguard, no one will pay attention to Hwayne Group's scandal anymore. Therefore, Ms. Park deliberately arranges for Wan Su to attend a resort event. Wan Su doesn't notice anything unusual and immediately sets off for Busan with the bodyguard. The two of them admire the beautiful seaside like a couple, even hugging each other tightly. Unexpectedly, Lee secretly takes a photo of the moment. Earlier, Lawyer Han had ordered her to take photos of their affair, then kill Wan Su and frame the bodyguard for the crime. After the event, Wan Su returns to the hotel with Do-yoon. She gently hugs him from behind, feeling guilty. Do-yoon responds, "For you, I'm willing to do anything." Elsewhere, after taking enough intimate photos, Lee begins the assassination mission. While Do-yoon is out on patrol, she sneaks into the room, attempting to attack Wan Su. Wan Su is terrified and struggles to escape. Fortunately, Do-yoon notices something is wrong and rushes back in time, instructing her to escape through the window. Then a fierce fight breaks out. Unfortunately, Do-yoon is wounded by the sharp blade and can only watch as the assassin escapes. Meanwhile, Wan Su hides on a yacht, but the assassin quickly tracks her down. She tries to run, but hits her head and falls unconscious. At the crucial moment, Do-yoon saves her again. He then grabs a knife and engages in a duel with the assassin at the dock. Despite being severely injured, Do-yoon still manages to overpower the assassin and kicks her into the sea. Then he immediately steers the yacht out to the middle of the ocean. The next day, the first thing Do-yoon does when he wakes up is check if Wan Su is all right. With tears in her eyes, she nods and holds him tightly. After narrowly escaping death again, they can't help but kiss passionately. After returning to the hotel, Wan Su carefully bandages Do-yoon's wounds. Seeing the countless scars on his body, her eyes fill with sorrow. They then start talking about last night's attacker and suspect the mastermind is Min. After all, if Wan Su dies, Min would become the sole heir to the foundation. Soon after, Wan Su and her husband participate in a photo shoot. In front of the camera, they look like a perfect couple, but in reality, her eyes are always on Do-yoon. To gather more clues, Wan Su approaches her husband, trying to find out if his brother is an illegitimate child. Do-yoon once mentioned that if Kim and Min are not biological brothers, the fight for inheritance will become even fiercer. Seeing the terrified expression on her husband's face, Wan Su knows their suspicion is right. Meanwhile, Ms. Park is looking at the intimate photos of Wan Su and her bodyguard. She is considering whether to make them public. At that moment, Lawyer Han reminds her that the old chairman's will is about to be revealed. Through his private channels, he has already learned that the will includes a massive sum of money left to Wan Su's foundation. To seize this inheritance, Ms. Park immediately orders the scandal about Wan Su's affair to be exposed. Later, Han is shocked to see Wan Su return home safe and sound. He slaps Lee in anger and harshly scolds her incompetence. He coldly warns that if she messes up again, he will hurt her mother and siblings in China. Elsewhere, Kim rushes home, where his mother is waiting to show him an article about Wan Su's affair. He knows this is all his mother's doing and declares he will never divorce Wan Su. He even shouts that Wan Su isn't a filthy cheater like you. As a child, Kim once witnessed his mother in a physical relationship with Lawyer Han. That memory still haunts him, making it hard for him to face the woman he loves. To him, even an affair is not an unforgivable sin. But Ms. Park feels no guilt or regret. She argues that her husband never loved her, and that's why she did all of this. Nearby, Tara overhears the conversation and finally realizes that Kim only loves Wan Su. Heartbroken, she decides to leave the mansion with her son. The next day, Han bails out Wan Su's brother and orders him to retrieve the original ledgers from Do-yoon. But Do-yoon refuses to return it, and even suspects that lawyer Han murdered the old chairman in an attempt to seize control of Hwayne Group. He suggests teaming up with Wan Su's brother to catch the real culprit. Fearing retaliation, the brother reveals that he has already given something important to his wife for safekeeping. That night, Do-yoon sneaks back into Han's house and gets the safe code from the surveillance footage. After opening the safe, he reviews documents and realizes that Min is actually Han's son. Now Do-yoon is even more certain Han is the mastermind behind everything. Soon after, a drunken Kim confronts Han, demanding to know why he killed his father. It turns out, the old chairman had long known Min was the illegitimate son of his wife and lawyer Han. Because of this, he refused to leave any inheritance to Min. Kim is convinced this is Han's motive for murder. Han denies everything, but Kim keeps attacking him. He claims his mother always saw Han as a servant, treating their affair as nothing but a disgrace. Even Min knows the truth, yet still considers his real father a mere servant. These words cut Han deeply, and in a rage, he punches Kim. Kim doesn't care about this, and instead warns him not to hurt Wan Su, or he will kill him. Meanwhile, Wan Su receives news that Do-yoon has been locked up. It is all done under Kim's orders. He points a gun at Do-yoon and demands to know if he has slept with his wife. Do-yoon denies it and explains that he got close to Wan Su only to catch the one who killed his friend. He also mentions that the old chairman was likely murdered. Just then, Wan Su rushes in and grabs the gun, turning it toward herself. But this only makes Kim angrier. He asks his wife if she is in love with the bodyguard. Wan Su admits it without hesitation. Kim urges her to snap out of it, warning her that this guy came here with an ulterior motive. Wan Su doesn't care. She begs her husband to let Do-yoon continue the investigation and uncover the truth behind the old chairman's death. Then she hugs Kim, slowly, calming him down. 2 weeks later, all the heirs gather at the mansion as the lawyers officially reveal the will. The old chairman had the entire 18 trillion won donated to Wan Su's foundation. 16 trillion is held in a Swiss bank and can only be retrieved if Wan Su visits in person and sign for its withdrawal. Hearing this, Kim bursts out laughing while the others stare in shock. Days later, Wan Su leaves for Switzerland with her husband, while Do-yoon stays behind to search for more clues. One day, he bumps into Lee and notices her build closely matches the killer who murdered his friend. Even her fighting style is identical to the assassin who targeted Wan Su. Now, Do-yoon urgently needs to find solid evidence. Meanwhile, Wan Su and Kim arrive at the Swiss bank. Through biometric palm verification, the manager confirms Wan Su's identity and opens the vault. Inside lies 16 trillion won in illegal secret funds and another 2 trillion hidden in borrowed name accounts. Taking it all out is not going to be easy. Ms. Park originally wants her elder son to inherit the money and the group, but the youngest son demands the three of them split it equally. Only Kim stays clear-headed, emphasizing that the money now belongs to Wan Su. Min threatens to expose everything and ruin everyone's lives if he doesn't get half of the fortune. Kim shows no fear. He calmly points out that his father may have been murdered and even hints that lawyer Han might know the truth. The two are shocked into silence. Finally, Kim insists he will never let his father's money fall into outsider hands. Min vents all his fury on Han, cursing him for being useless and failing to kill Wan Su in Manila. Han yells at Min to leave, saying he has a lot on his mind. Suddenly, a memory flashes back. The old chairman lay in a pool of blood, while Min stood beside him, clutching a blood-stained gold bar, yet claiming his father had simply collapsed. Han chose to cover up the truth and even fabricated an alibi for Min. Remembering the tragedy, Han now trembles with fear. Elsewhere, Do-yoon tells Wan Su and her brother that he has confirmed Min is lawyer Han's son. He suspects the mastermind must be one of them. Do-yoon also warns Wan Su to stay away from the female bodyguard and never be alone with her, since she is most likely working for Han. After that, Do-yoon hands the Foundation's ledgers to Wan Su's brother, urging him to be careful. That night, the brother secretly meets with Han. Hiding nearby, Do-yoon records the whole exchange, both video and audio. Han trades a sum of legal money for the original ledgers. The brother asks what he should do to keep Wan Su safe. Han only tells him to stay out of it, then drives away. Unexpectedly, the assassin suddenly appears and attacks the brother. Do-yoon rushes over and stabs her in the back, but she still manages to escape. Do-yoon hurriedly takes the brother to the hospital, but unfortunately the latter doesn't survive. When Wan Su hears the tragic news, she breaks down in tears, desperate to escape this hell. Meanwhile, lawyer Han reports Hwayne Group and its foundation to the prosecutors. After receiving the subpoena, Ms. Park panics and doesn't know what to do. To make matters worse, the mansion is soon surrounded by reporters. Just then, Han appears like a savior. He tells Ms. Park that Wan Su's brother betrayed her, but reassures her that he has already arranged everything and she will be fine. In this way, he wins her trust even more. Later, they go together to the prosecutor's office for a brief questioning. Back home, Han carefully asks if their son also has inheritance rights. Ms. Park bursts out laughing and mockingly says, "Who in the world would have the son they had with their concubine succeed the company?" Hearing this, Han smiles sinisterly. To get back at this venomous woman, he delivers the ledgers to the prosecutors and watches as she is arrested. Elsewhere, Wan Su's sister-in-law gives Do-yoon a USB drive containing falsified accounting evidence. That night, Do-yoon secretly slips the USB into Han's safe, while the sister-in-law reports Han's crimes. Soon, prosecutors raid Han's residence and confiscate everything, including the safe. Just then, Do-yoon notices the suspicious Lee and follows her. Sensing danger, Lee tries to escape through the window. Do-yoon quickly restrains her and confirms that she is the one who murdered Wan Su's brother. Haunted by the image of his friend's brutal death, he beats her mercilessly, but in the end, he spares her life. He pulls out the evidence of Lee killing the brother and personally hands her over to the police. Before leaving, Lee glances back at lawyer Han standing on the second floor. Do-yoon notices this and immediately confronts Han. He furiously condemns Han for committing countless crimes out of greed and vows to make him pay. Han smirks and says, "Feel free to do that." However, only he knows that he has already prepared an escape plan. Han goes to the yard, digs up a blood-stained gold bar, and then visits Ms. Park in prison, telling her she must admit she hired assassins to kill Wan Su. If she refuses, he will hand the gold bar over to the police, and her youngest son will be charged with patricide. Ms. Park demands to know why he had a son with her. Han sneers and replies that it was all for revenge, because she never treated him as a fellow human being. He wanted to see how she did when she gave birth to the offspring of a servant. Hearing this, Ms. Park completely breaks down. To cover up her shameful past, she is forced to take all the blame. Han thinks it's all over until his son causes trouble yet again. Min's wife is unhappy that he didn't get any inheritance, so she decides to divorce him. Min, feeling abandoned by everyone, blames everything on his brother. He points a gun at Kim, demanding the entire inheritance, or he will kill him. Outside, Wan Su hears the gunshots and rushes back to the mansion. Lawyer Han also hurries to the scene, trying to calm his son down. Kim bursts into arrogant laughter, mocking them, saying like father, like son, both greedy for what doesn't belong to them. Han, unable to accept that his son has been insulted as well, wants to kill this arrogant guy. As the two struggle, Min fires 2 shots at Kim. By the time Wan Su arrives, her husband is barely alive. With his last breath, Kim tells his wife that he truly loves her, but he never knew how to express it. Earlier, he gave his lover 100 billion won and ended their relationship. In the days to come, he wants to make it up to his wife. Sadly, it is all too late. Han plans to frame Wan Su for the murder and orders his son to leave immediately and delete the CCTV footage. After Min flees, Han quickly calls the police to report a murder and wipes all fingerprints off the shotgun. Soon, the police arrive at the mansion and Han accuses Wan Su of killing her husband. Before Wan Su is taken to the station, Do-yoon asks her briefly what happened, then stays behind at the mansion to look for clues. Unfortunately, all the footage has already been erased. The servants notice Min's car still in the parking lot. and external cameras didn't capture him leaving. Do-yoon deduces Min is hiding somewhere inside. Eventually, he finds the real killer inside a wardrobe. Soon after, forensic tests reveal gunpowder residue on Min's fingers. Technicians also recover the deleted footage, proving Wan Su was outside when the shots were fired. Min is convicted of murder and sent to prison. Elsewhere, prosecutors crack open the safe and uncover evidence of Han's crimes. In the end, Han is also arrested for instigating murder. Once everything settles, Do-yoon resigns and says goodbye to Wan Su. Now, they both return to their own lives. Meanwhile, Ms. Park clears her name and is acquitted. Not long after, she visits her youngest son in prison and tells him how Han once threatened her with the gold bar. She warns him never to trust Han again. Enraged, Min tries to kill the father who ruined his life, but guards stop him in time. After suffering the cruelest betrayal, Ms. Park no longer clings to money or fame. She holds a board meeting and announces that her husband's inheritance will all be given back to society. Over the next year, Wan Su continues traveling the world, helping the poor. One day at the airport, she runs into Do-yoon and sees him pull out a volunteer vest. In the days to come, they will never be apart again.